Travel reset or travel reprieve? I think it's finally starting to become clear to me as I continue on this journey of healing myself. I thought that eh, travel is definitely transformative, but somehow I thought along the way that I could run away and reset. And that hasn't been what has happened, at least not during this journey. Been almost 3 years. Took me at least 6 months before I realized, 6 months after quitting my job, before I realized I wasn't suffering from corporate burnout, but just burnout from life. Approaching 3 years, it took me 6 months before I even fully understood what I was experiencing. Here we are almost 3 years later, June of last year, had begun doing the work to try to shift and make changes in my day-to-day environment. Travel gives me ability to hear myself. It gives me the ability to focus on myself. I don't have to think about anybody else. But what travel really hasn't done is helped me with the day to day. It takes me out of my day to day situation. However, there were some things I had to go through in order to get to where I'm at. In June of 2025, I was on the brink. And what really set it off, what the catalyst was, the trigger, was I had to unload the dishwasher. My husband and boys were gone to Ohio to a resort. They were doing a fellas weekend. I was at home alone. I had to unload the dishwasher. That is what had me just lose my shit. And that is when I called my cousin to try to vent to her and wasn't validated. And it just infuriated me. It hurt me. And then a few days later, my husband and I had gotten into it. I called my uncle and asked if I could come stay with him for a while. He didn't come flat out and say no. He gave me a lot of excuses. My son was 17 and had graduated from high school. So it's just, I was thinking, can I just come and stay with you? I asked my aunt. Hers was a no too, because I had the dogs and she didn't want to deal with all of these dogs. I'm in the situation still at home and it's like a pressure cooker. Mr. and I are growing more and more resentful. We are so distant. I think that attributed to the resentfulness that we both felt. Every time we tried to talk about something, it was an argument. It turned into a full on argument. Now, who wants to continue to do that? Who wants to argue about the simplest shit? That was 2 years after I had quit my job. What I've realized about myself is that as I've gotten older, I don't have the ability to multitask like I used to. I don't even want the multitask like I used to. I think that also attributed to burnout. So right now, I just feel like I just want to be focused on one thing at a time. But where I've struggled is building consistency and building the habit and keeping it is what I'm doing throughout the day. And I want to also have the freedom to structure my day. I want my day to be consistent in some aspects, but I also want the ability to structure it. It's been 3 years and I'm have been frustrated because I felt like I wasn't moving and changing, and neither was the situation. But that's because I wasn't moving or trying to do anything. You can't expect there to be change and keep with your same behaviors. I was also very arrogant or maybe delusional to think that here I've gotten to the point where I felt like I'm burnt out of life, and then thought that I was supposed to have this healing within a certain amount of time. Mistake has been not recognizing that I'm almost 50. I've been on this journey for 3 years. I used the time that I left my corporate job as the marker. I'm sure I was feeling like this prior, but I think it was just keep going, keep going. You don't have to say anything. You don't have the right to say anything. You knew he had 5 kids. That's what I would even tell myself. And so it was just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then it got to, I can't keep going. I'm miserable here. All I want to do is run away. I thought that, yes, I do love solo travel, but you shouldn't have to run away from your life. If you do, it's for a reprieve. You can't expect to have this reset if you aren't doing what you need to do on a daily basis. And I think that is why both times that I've left recently for solo travel and come back, I've had a difficult time reintegrating into my day to day life because I haven't felt like I've made changes and I haven't developed this consistency. I don't know if people are talking about what burnout takes from you, but I feel like for me has taken my confidence. It's taken my decision making, my overall trust in myself. It's taken my voice, being able to advocate for myself and speak up and not feel like, am I going to be thought of as a bitch or am I going to be misunderstood? Those are things that over the years, you've allowed yourself to think and to overthink because you're losing trust in yourself. You're just tired. You aren't living an intentional life, is basically why you burn out. You're just doing some of everything and you're just going and you're having relationship issues that begin to rob from you. You're just going and things, this is draining you, that's draining you, this is taken from you, that is taking you or robbing you. You're just becoming depleted in all areas. And all you want to do is just run away. That's at least that's what all I wanted to do. I just want to go away because if I go away, then I am able to set boundaries. Actually, I'm not able to set boundaries. A physical boundary is set for me because in my regular life, I didn't have the ability to set this boundary. And so for me, I'm running away because that physical boundary is set and there is nothing that I can do for you from here. I kind of got a little bit stronger when I would run away because it would give me that physical boundary that I was unable to create on my own back at home.